In this segment, we're going to review our South African portfolio, where we have the leading luxury brands from that country. We work together with some great people and some great brands. John Engelbrecht has the Ristin Fela and Guardian Peak brands from his estates. We work together with ONeills and represent the wines from his estate, and also Johann Rupert, who is the chairman of Richemont, one of the greatest luxury goods companies in the world. And from Johann, we have the Protea wines and the Anthony Rupert wines from their Lourmarin estate.
South Africa, one of the most beautiful nations in the world. South Africans have been producing wine for over 300 years, but the past 20 years have seen an amazing change in growth in this industry. Yet many consumers are unaware of the great luxury wines that South Africa has to offer. Hello, I'm Linton Kaiser, Vice President of Sales and Marketing for ONeills Wines, located in Stellenbosch, the second oldest wine-growing region in South Africa. In this course, we will look at Terlato's South African portfolio and show you some great wines that you need to know about. This course will take about 20 minutes to complete, and there is a test at the end. Ready to explore this beautiful country and some amazing wines? Click the next button in the lower right-hand corner and let's get started.
Down near the southern tip of Africa lies the South African city of Cape Town. It's regarded as one of the world's most beautiful cities and is a highly sought-after tourist destination, with world-famous attractions like its beaches, the waterfront, and of course Table Mountain. Cape Town is also the gateway to the renowned Cape Winelands, where over 95% of South Africa's wines are produced. They are among the most respected wines in the world, and there's quite a story to tell about them. Or rather, there are two stories to tell. The one is about making better wines, the other is about making wines better. It's really no surprise that South African wines are so highly regarded. After all, we have over 350 years of rich winemaking history to draw on. It's a history that includes Dutch, German, Italian and French influences, embracing all the best traditions of old world wines. But our winemaking industry is also young enough to explore more modern New World styles. The other factor behind the quality of our wines is the extraordinary geography and climate of the region. The Cape Winelands fall within the Cape Floral Kingdom, the world's smallest but richest floral kingdom. There are more plant species in this southwestern corner of South Africa than there are in the entire Northern Hemisphere. This natural wealth is a result of the region's unique landscape. It has the oldest viticultural soils in the world. It embraces two oceans, the Atlantic to the west and the Indian to the east, both of which bring sea breezes, mist and fog, and it has various mountain ranges, slopes and valleys, which offer micro, macro and mesoclimates, with different degrees of sunshine, shade and shelter. These influences make for a spectacularly diverse range of environments and conditions, which is why we say that variety is in our nature. It presents endless winemaking opportunities and offers winemakers an incredible palette with which to express themselves.
Michel Rowland, world-famous consulting winemaker, has called South Africa the most beautiful wine region in the world. It's also one of the oldest. Viticulture began here in 1659, but has become truly world-class in just the last 20 years. Once democracy opened up trade in 1994, winemakers began traveling the world to learn, share information, and bring home new ideas. The abolishment of the cooperative system inspired viticulturists to plant higher quality, low-yielding vines and rootstocks, connecting the better plant material to just the right sites. Consequently, 2/3 of the Cape vines are just 15 years of age or younger. Only 5% of vineyards are over 30 years old. South Africa offers perfect conditions for growing world-class wines. Much like Napa Valley, mountainous topography in South Africa creates multiple microclimates with myriad soils, granite, schist, sandstone and limestone, over 50 different types in total. South Africa is the only wine-growing region in the world to have the influence of two major oceans, the Indian and Atlantic. This unique influence provides a Mediterranean climate with warm and dry growing seasons, yet tempered by the Atlantic Ocean to the west. Strong southeasterly winds, known as the Cape Doctor, greatly reduce vine disease pressure, which allows for sustainable and biodynamic farming. False Bay, with its cold Antarctic waters, is close enough to supply the daily cool breezes necessary for perfect sugar-acid balance in the fruit. Today, South Africa has nearly 260,000 acres under vine, making it the 8th largest producer in the world. Red varieties account for 45% of all plantings, with Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Syrah leading the way. Chenin Blanc, known in South Africa as Steen, is the most widely planted grape variety. The modern South African wine industry has a very focused and careful growth plan, which increases the appeal of the country's luxury wines. Since 2005, South Africa has shipped 1 million cases to the US each year. Comparatively, Australia shipped 19.3 million cases to the US and Argentina shipped 6.1 million. Emphasizing quality over quantity, growers have actually been reducing vine acreage over the last 10 years. The topography and climate of South Africa foster over 9,000 plant species, and the wine industry is committed to supporting this biodiversity. South Africa is also a world leader in progressive sustainability measures throughout all wine-growing regions. In 2004, wine growers worked with conservationists to implement the Biodiversity and Wine Initiative, or BWI. Under this initiative, wine growers now work side by side with conservationists to protect the natural habitat. In 2006, growers and producers were asked to sign the Wine Growers Producers Commitment, a contract recognizing the natural boundary between vineyards and undomesticated terrain. South Africa created their first set of regulations governing wine in 1972. These regulations, known as the Wine of Origin Scheme, define geographic areas. The broadest area is a unit, such as Western Cape. Units are divided into regions, which are divided into districts. The Napa Valley, in its entirety, is analogous to a district. Districts are further divided into wards, which are analogous to American viticultural areas such as Stag's Leap or Rutherford. Wine bearing the name of a region, district, or ward must contain 100% wine from its namesake. Terlato's luxury portfolio is focused in the two top wine-growing districts for high quality, Stellenbosch and Franschhoek. Founded in 1679, Stellenbosch is the second oldest wine-growing region in South Africa. It is considered the Napa Valley of South Africa and is home to Terlato's Ristin Fela, Guardian Peak, and ONeills wineries. The region is best known for notable reds Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Syrah. Chenin Blanc and Chardonnay also do well here. Stellenbosch encompasses 38,300 acres and is dominated by a complex cluster of tall mountain ranges. Stellenbosch features well-drained hilly terrain, with most vineyards lying at elevations ranging from 330 feet or 100 meters up to as high as 1,970 feet or 600 meters. Soil is diverse, with sandy, alluvial loam along the valley floors and river courses and deep, well-drained decomposed granite on hillsides. Franschhoek, in Afrikaans the language of South Africa, means French corner. Here, French settlers brought their old world love and understanding of viticulture and winemaking to South Africa. Planting grapes in 1694 at Lomra Wine Farm, the present-day site of Rupert Wines and Protea. The Franschhoek Valley is surrounded on three sides by massive mountains. Cool winds enter the valley from the south and foster an ideal sugar-acid balance. Franschhoek is best known for its notable reds Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Syrah. A multitude of white varieties do well here as well: Chenin Blanc, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and Semillon. Rupert Wines has its roots at the first winery in the Franschhoek district, dating to 1694. Renamed by Johann Rupert after the tragic death of his brother Antoni, the winery was built using the same principles as a fine timepiece, with rotating fermenters providing 100% gravity flow at each stage of production. A waterfall provides hydroelectric power to the facility and guarantees a water supply for the vineyards. No expenses spared by Johann to ensure both his brother's name and his native country are associated with some of the world's highest quality wines. Lomra is the primary estate. Here you will find a diverse combination of both low-lying land as well as moderate to steep slopes, with vineyards planted primarily on the benchland of the Groot Drakenstein Mountains. To ensure the stunning terroir shines through in all their wines, vineyard management techniques such as high-density plantings, precise plant material selection, and green harvest ensure that only the finest raw materials are provided for the Rupert Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and Optima. This attention to quality has paid off, with the top-tier Rupert blend receiving the highest rating from Wine Spectator of any other South African wine.
The fundamental belief at Rupert Wines is that the source of great wines lies in the vineyards. Thus, the entire winemaking process is based on the principle that the grapes are to be treated with the utmost respect and minimal human intervention, from the vineyard all the way through to the cellar. From its home base on historic Lomarans wine farm beneath the jagged peaks of the Groot Drakensberg Mountains in Franschhoek, Rupert Wines has selected vineyards in different regions of the Cape winelands, with each site specifically selected for their unique terroir. The four other exceptional properties in the Rupert Wines portfolio are Elandskloof in Villiersdorp, Bellingham in Franschhoek, Riebeeksrivier in Riebeek-Kasteel, and Rooderust in Darling. They were purchased specifically for their sites and to supply grapes to the two cellars on the home farm, because the characteristic grapes from these areas would contribute to the flavors and complexity the winemakers were looking for. Lomarans has granite soils which produce strong, expressive wines, with Syrah planted on steep slopes and Merlot planted on the cooler eastern slopes. Sauvignon Blanc is on the highest block on the farm, and Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc are planted to avoid the harsh afternoon sun. Riebeeksrivier was purchased after a lengthy search for a unique Syrah terroir. The farm is set against the slopes of the Kasteelberg mountain, overlooking the Swartland towards Table Mountain, and has shale soils similar in appearance to those of the northern Rhone. This terroir is ideal to grow and perfect the Rhone cultivars of Shiraz, Grenache, Viognier, Roussanne, Marsanne, and Mourvedre. With up to 8,000 vines per hectare, vineyard densities are twice as high as traditional plantings. This creates competition amongst the vines, sending their roots deep into the shale soils in search of the complexity and character we are looking for in our wines. With 35-year-old Pinotage bush vines and 20-year-old Chenin bush vines, the farm also provides us with naturally low-yielding building blocks for our wine portfolio. Rooderust Farm is in the Darling area, 13 kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean, with low rainfall and cool days in the ripening months of January and February. The isolated vineyards of Elandskloof provide a unique area to grow great wines. The vineyards are planted on terraces against steep slopes, facing west or south within a circle of mountains. Vines are trellised, and thin high canopies are producing wines with good natural acidity, and grapes are typically harvested later than the other sites. Winters are very cold with snow covering the mountain tops.
The Protea is the national flower of South Africa. This beautiful species is the inspiration for Protea wines, whose easy drinking, fruit-driven style is introducing South Africa to a new generation of wine drinkers. As you can see, the Protea package is completely unique. Johann Rupert, who created these wines, tapped Mark Eisen, a famous designer who specializes in art glass, to create a one-off kind of packaging using a first-to-market, eco-friendly process. Not just beautiful on the outside, the winemaker sources Chenin Blanc from low-yielding coastal vineyards that provide depth and lovely aromatics with verve and a clean, crisp finish. The red blend package harkens to the Dutch colonial style of architecture and combines Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot in a rich, complex and well-structured red. Protea launched in 2013 with a fast growth trajectory as consumers in all channels tried Protea because of the package, but came back for more after enjoying the wine.
Hi, I'm Mark van Buren, winemaker for Protea Chenin Blanc 2014. Today situated in Tony Rupert farm in Franschhoek, surrounded by magnificent mountains. It's a region that's really well known for Chenin Blancs. The Protea is named after the national flower of South Africa, which is found in abundance in the Western Cape and especially on this farm, making it a really elegant and very apt choice for this range of wines. For the Protea Chenin Blanc, the goal is to produce a wine that's beautiful both inside and out, elegant in its style, it's well balanced, it's got a lovely elegance of fruit to it, shows beautiful pear, citrus, honeysuckle characters. It's a delightful wine for the summertime, which is sourced from 3 different regions. Most of the fermentation occurs in stainless steel tanks where approximately 10% has been fermented in oak barrels, French oak. It's a very exciting varietal and certainly one of my passions. I'm very proud of this wine, and it's such a beautiful, elegant design. Your guests might even want to take this bottle home after you've enjoyed the wine. We've given you a taste of South Africa that we're proud of.
ONeills is one of the most successful golfers in the history of the game. As Ernie travelled the world, he developed a discerning palate and love for fine wine, inspiring him to create superior wine in his native country. With the help from award-winning winemaker Louis Strydom, Ernie produced his first wine in 2000. Following this early success, the ONeills winery was opened 5 years later on the slopes of the Helderberg Mountain in Stellenbosch. A beautiful 178-acre property equipped with a state-of-the-art cellar was opened. Today, Ernie and Louis are dedicated to producing wines crafted to compete against the finest wines in the world. ONeills wines produce an assortment of wine varietals and blends at multiple price points. ONeills wines have received over 15 90-plus point ratings from Wine Spectator. Ernie is also active in autism research. The Else for Autism Foundation was established in 2009 by Ernie and his wife Liesel to focus on the issue of autism. The Else's son Ben is severely touched by the disease, which affects 1 in 88 children in the US. For the last 5 years, the world-class professional golfer and his wife have devoted their efforts to a philanthropic project, the Els Centre for Excellence. Terlato Wines proudly supports Els for Autism with every bottle sold. The Ristin Fela winery was established in 1694 and produced on and off for almost 3 centuries before the Engelbrecht family became proprietors in 1977. Jean Engelbrecht assumed ownership of the winery in 1996 and has become known as the ambassador of South African wines, enabling Ristin Fela to compete with the leading wines of the world. In 2007, Connie Snyman was appointed as winemaker, making him only the 3rd winemaker since 1977. Ristin Fela is the first private winery in South Africa to specialize in the exclusive production of red wine. In addition, they were the first to make a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, and Merlot, which is affectionately known today as Ristin Fela Estate. This wine has been named to Wine Spectator's Top 100 for 4 consecutive vintages and 5 times over the past 20 years, another first for a South African wine, and has received a 91+ score more than a dozen times. The name Ristin Fela has a symbolic moniker meaning rest and peace in the native dialect. And true to South African lifestyles, its wines are meant to be enjoyed in peace. The underground cellar of the estate was the first of its kind for a family-owned South African winery. Designed by renowned architect Gawie Fagan, the perfectly temperature-controlled environment is of invaluable benefit to the production and bottle maturation of their unique wines. The Ristin Fela restaurant, one of South Africa's top restaurants, was opened on the estate in 2008. The restaurant gives Jean Engelbrecht tremendous credibility with restaurateurs and sommeliers, having received several notable awards, including the Wine Spectator Award of Excellence for 4 years in succession. Wine Spectator magazine has awarded Ristin Fela 90+ ratings consecutively for 18 years, bestowing on them more 90+ ratings than any other South African winery. The 1998 Ristin Fela Estate was named the best blended red wine at the World Wine Championships in the United States. Ristin Fela has been served at many notable occasions. President Nelson Mandela selected Ristin Fela to be served at the 1993 Nobel Peace Prize dinner in Oslo, where he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. In 1994, Ristin Fela received the South African Export Achievement Award from President Mandela. During 1996, Ristin Fela hosted the Queen of Denmark at an official lunch in the Manor House on the estate. Garden Peak was conceived in 1998 by distinguished South African vintner Jan Engelbrecht, proprietor of Ristin Fela. Garden Peak offers a variety of red wines accessible in both style and price, giving customers the confidence to explore a new region without sacrificing mainstream tastes. Garden Peak wines are designed to complement a healthy, active outdoor lifestyle and are crafted to be enjoyed anywhere at any time. Lifestyle is always a priority in the Cape Winelands, and the Garden Peak range is flexible and dynamic to enhance any lifestyle activity imaginable. Garden Peak wines are produced predominantly from estate-owned vineyards located in the Stellenbosch region of South Africa. Some fruit is sourced from local growers located in the Western Cape region. South Africa offers world-class quality, value and potential in the luxury wine segment, with discovery regions focused on established, much-loved grape varieties. The South African wine industry has become truly exceptional in the last 20 years, valuing quality and sustainability above all else. Terlato Wines is extremely proud to be the true luxury importer of these exceptional, family-owned and operated estates. We encourage you to give these wines a try.